The massive ship floated through empty space, its metal surface dark and cold. Inside, Admiral of the Empire sat in his command chair, his blue skin glowing softly under the bridge lights. He looked at the screen showing a small, dead planet ahead. "This is what remains of the humans," said with a laugh. "The legendary species that everyone feared. Look at it now, just dust and ash." His crew laughed with him. They had heard stories about humans since they were young, tales of a violent species that destroyed itself 300 years ago. The Galactic Council had declared Earth a forbidden zone, but did not care about old rules. He wanted to explore and claim new territories for his empire. The ships moved closer to the dead world. Sensors showed no life, no cities, no movement, just empty deserts and frozen oceans. Smiled. Another myth proven false. Far away, hidden in the shadow of a distant moon, Captain watched everything on his own screens. His ship, the Silent Echo, was completely invisible to sensors. It had been designed for exactly this purpose, to watch without being seen. "They are getting too close to Earth," said Commander Wu, standing beside his chair. His face showed concern. "Should we warn our people?" Shook his head slowly. "Not yet. Let them look at the dead side of the planet. Let them think they are right." Doctor worked at her station, recording every word they spoke. Their language was easy to understand now. Humanity had spent many years studying the species that ruled the galaxy. And the. Four powerful empires that controlled everything between the stars. They all believed humanity was gone, extinct. A warning story told to children about what happens when a species becomes too violent. "Captain," said quietly, "I am reading their internal communications. They plan to mine this sector. They want to take resources from 12 systems, including ours." His jaw tightened. He had expected this. They were always hungry for more. More planets, more resources, more slaves. They had destroyed 6 smaller species in the last 50 years alone. The Galactic Council did nothing to stop them. "How long until they discover our colonies?" Wu asked. 3 months, maybe 4, replied, "if they follow their current expansion pattern." The bridge went quiet. Everyone knew what this meant. For 300 years, humanity had hidden. After the great wars that nearly destroyed them, the survivors had learned a terrible lesson. They were not alone in the universe, and the universe was not kind. When the first human ships reached the stars, they found the Galactic Council. They tried to make peace. They tried to join. But the Council saw humans as weak, primitive, and worthless. They attacked human colonies without warning. Thousands died. So humanity disappeared. They destroyed their own cities on Earth's surface. They made it look like they had killed themselves in nuclear fire. They hid their surviving people in underground cities and secret colonies far from known space. And they watched. They learned. They built new weapons and new ships. Now 3 centuries later they were ready, but did not want war. Not yet. Not if it could be avoided. "Send a message to Admiral Sara," ordered. "Tell her they are here. Tell her they plan to expand into our territory." Wu nodded and walked to the communication station. The message would take hours to reach the hidden human fleet, but it would arrive. Admiral Sara was the leader of all human military forces. She would know what to do. On his screen, watched the ships turn away from Earth. They had seen enough. Admiral was speaking again, his voice full of mockery. "Mark this planet as claimed by the Empire," said. "We will return with mining ships. There may be valuable metals in the core. Who knows? Maybe we will even find some human bones to put in a museum." His crew laughed again. They thought they were so powerful, so safe. They had no idea that human eyes watched their every move. Stood and walked too. She held a data tablet in her hands. "Captain, I have been studying their patrol patterns. They are careless. They send ships alone through deep space. They do not expect attacks." "Because no one dares to attack them," Wu added. "The Council fears the fleet." Looked at both of them. The Council fears the wrong things. They should fear what happens when you push peaceful people too far. He stood from his chair and walked to the main screen. The ships were leaving now, jumping into faster-than-light travel. They would return to their empire and report what they found. An empty world, a dead civilization, one more territory to claim. "Take us home," said quietly. "We have work to do." The silent echo turned away from Earth, its engines leaving no trail. The ship moved through space like a ghost, unseen and unheard. It passed through 3 systems before reaching the hidden colony of New Haven. New Haven was built inside a massive asteroid field. From outside, it looked like just another collection of rocks floating in space. But inside, millions of humans lived and worked. Factories produced ships and weapons. Scientists developed new technology. Soldiers trained for the war they all knew was coming. Ship docked in the main hangar. He walked through the busy corridors, nodding to people as they saluted. Everyone knew him. Everyone trusted him. He had been one of the first captains chosen to scout enemy territory. He reached the command center where Admiral Sara was waiting. She was a tall woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. She had fought in the last human war against the 300 years ago. She had seen her family killed. She remembered everything. She said, "I received your message, the war at Earth." "Yes, Admiral, they believe it is empty. They plan to mine it." Sora's expression did not change. "Then we have less time than we thought. How many ships did they bring?" "5 scouting vessels. Nothing we could not handle if needed." "Good." Sora walked to a large map showing the galaxy. Red dots marked territories. Blue dots showed human colonies. "We have 42 hidden colonies across 17 systems. If they discover even one, they will find the others. We cannot allow that." Nodded. "What are your orders?" Sora looked at him for a long moment. "We stop hiding. Not completely, not yet. But we start showing them that ghosts can bite. Choose your targets carefully, Captain. Make them afraid, make them wonder. But leave no evidence. Leave no survivors." The words hung in the air like ice. "Understood, Admiral." Left the command center with a heavy heart. He did not want to kill. None of them did. But they had made their choice long ago. They had chosen to be predators. And now they would learn that in the darkness of space, there were things that hunted predators. The silent echo launched again the next day. This time it was not alone. 3 other human ships joined it, all invisible, all silent. They moved through space toward the supply routes. The galaxy thought humanity was a legend, a story, a myth. Soon they would learn the truth. Legends never truly die. They only sleep. And humanity had slept long enough. The cargo ship Eternal Prophet moved slowly through deep space, carrying supplies to a mining colony on the edge of the Empire. Inside the bridge, Captain Vex checked his navigation screens. Everything was normal. The route was safe. They had traveled it 100 times before. "Another boring run," Vex said to his crew. "I wish something interesting would happen." He would regret those words. In the darkness behind the cargo ship, the silent echo waited. Captain watched the vessel through his monitors. It was alone, just as had predicted. They felt safe in their own territory. They did not post guards. They did not expect danger. "Pilot, are you ready?" asked through the communication system. "Ready, Captain," came the reply from the small fighter attached to the Echo's hull. Sat in her cockpit, her hands steady on the controls. She had trained for this mission for months. Her fighter was experimental, equipped with weapons that no one in the galaxy had ever seen. "Commander Wu, cut their communications," ordered. Wu's fingers moved quickly over his console. "Done. They cannot send distress signals now." Took a deep breath. "You are clear to engage." The small fighter detached from the silent echo and flew forward. Its engines made no sound in the vacuum of space. Its hull was coated with material that absorbed scanner waves. It was invisible. Approached the cargo ship from below. Her weapon systems came online. She did not hesitate. She pressed the firing button. A beam of pure energy shot from her fighter and cut through the ship's engine like a knife through paper. The cargo ship shuddered and stopped moving. Inside, alarms began to scream. Captain Vex jumped from his chair. "What happened? Report." "Our engines are dead," one crew member shouted. "Something hit us." "Impossible, there is nothing out here." But Vex was wrong, circled around the disabled ship and fired again. This time she hit the life support systems. Air began to leak into space. The crew panicked. "Seal the breaches," Vex ordered. "Send a distress call." "Communications are not working," another crew member replied. "Something is blocking them." Vex felt fear for the first time in years. He was a veteran of many battles. He had fought pirates and rebels, but this was different. This enemy was invisible, silent, deadly. Fired one last shot, this time at the ship's bridge. The explosion was quick and bright. When it faded, the eternal prophet was nothing but floating debris. "Target destroyed," reported calmly. "No survivors, no distress signal sent." "Good work," pilot said. "Return to the Echo." This was the 7th ship they had destroyed in 3 weeks. Each time they left nothing behind. No evidence. No witnesses. They would find the debris eventually, but they would not know what had attacked. Back at New Haven, engineer Jin worked in the weapons laboratory. He was young, only 25, but his mind was brilliant. He had designed most of the new weapons that human ships now carried. "Admiral Sora wants more power," Jin muttered to himself as he studied his designs. "She wants weapons that can destroy entire fleets." He had an idea, a terrible idea, but it might work. Jin called his assistant over. "Calculate this for me. What happens if we accelerate a small asteroid to 90% light speed and aim it at a target?" His assistant's eyes went wide. "That would release energy equivalent to a nuclear weapon, maybe more." "Exactly," Jin smiled. "And it is just a rock, not a missile, not a bomb, just a rock moving very, very fast." The assistant understood. They would not even know it was an attack. They would think it was a natural disaster. Jin began working on the project immediately. If he could build a ship capable of pushing asteroids to such speeds, humanity would have a weapon that no one could defend against. Meanwhile, on a space station called Crossroads, sat at a bar and listened. Crossroads was a neutral station where traders from all species came to do business. It was the perfect place to gather information. Looked like a trader herself. She wore simple clothes and spoke many languages. No one suspected she was a human spy. Most people at Crossroads had never even seen a human before. They thought humans were extinct. At the table next to her, 2 soldiers were drinking and talking loudly. "I hear another ship disappeared last week," one soldier said. "The eternal prophet, just gone, no wreckage found." "That makes 8 ships this month," the other replied. "Command thinks it is pirates." "Pirates do not make ships disappear completely. They steal cargo and leave the ship behind." The first soldier lowered his voice. "Some people are saying it is ghosts, spirits of dead species seeking revenge." The second soldier laughed. "You believe in ghost stories. We are soldiers of the Empire. We fear nothing." Smiled to herself. Let them think it was ghosts. Let them be afraid. Fear was a weapon too. She finished her drink and left the bar. In her small room, she sent a coded message to Admiral Sora. The message reported everything she had heard. They were confused. They were starting to worry, but they did not suspect humans yet. Back on the Silent Echo, Doctor studied new intelligence reports. She had been monitoring communications for weeks. The pattern was clear. "Captain," she said, "I have found something important." Came to her station. "What is it?" Showed him a map of space. "Look at this. They are gathering ships near the Kelvin system. 20 warships, maybe more. That is not a normal patrol." "What are they planning?" Wu asked, joining them. "I do not know yet," admitted. "But the Kelvin system is only 4 jumps from Earth. I think they are preparing for something big." Felt cold fear in his chest. "They are planning to mine Earth. Admiral mentioned it before. They must be gathering a fleet to harvest the planet." "If they go to Earth, they will discover it is not really dead," Wu said. "They will find our underground cities. They will know humans survived." Made a decision quickly. "We need to stop that fleet before it reaches Earth. Contact Admiral Sora. Tell her we need more ships. Tell her it is time to show the what happens when they touch our home." The message reached New Haven within hours. Admiral Sora read it carefully. She had been waiting for this moment. The moment when humanity would stop hiding and start fighting back. She called a meeting of all ship captains. 30 men and women gathered in the command center. These were the best pilots and commanders humanity had. They had all been training for years. "They are sending a fleet to Earth," Sora announced. "They plan to strip mine they think it is empty. They think they can take whatever they want." The room filled with angry voices. Earth was sacred to all humans, even those who had never seen it. Sora raised her hand for silence. "We will not let them touch our planet. We will intercept their fleet before it arrives. This will be our first major battle. They will know that humanity is alive. Are you ready?" "Yes, Admiral," the captains shouted together. Sora smiled. It was not a kind smile. It was the smile of a hunter who had waited a very long time for her prey. "Good, prepare your ships. We leave in 24 hours." Across human space, ships began to move. Fighters launched from hidden bases. Cruisers powered up their weapons. Dreadnoughts left their secret locations. All of them moved toward the same destination, the Kelvin system. Captain stood on the bridge of the Silent Echo and watched more human ships appear on his scanners. The fleet was gathering. Soon, they would strike. "Commander Wu, how many ships do we have?" asked. Wu checked his console. 43 warships, Captain, and more than 200 fighters. We outnumber the fleet 2-1. "Good," said. "But remember, they have experience in battle. We must be smart. We must be fast. And we must leave no survivors to report what they saw." Looked worried. "Captain, when we attack, the galaxy will know humans exist. There will be no more hiding." Nodded slowly. "I know, Admiral Sora knows. We are all ready for what comes next. We have hidden for 300 years. Maybe it is time to stop hiding and start standing up for ourselves." The human fleet waited in the darkness of space, invisible and silent. They watched as the ships gathered. 20 warships, just as had predicted. Big, powerful vessels covered in weapons and armor. They had no idea what was waiting for them. Admiral stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Iron Fist. He was excited. Finally, a mission with purpose. They would go to the dead human world and take everything valuable. Maybe he would even find ancient human technology to study. "Set course for Earth," ordered. "Maximum speed. I want to reach it before the other houses learn about it." The fleet turned as one and jumped into faster-than-light travel. They moved through space like sharks, confident and deadly. But in the darkness behind them, the human fleet followed, silent, invisible, and very, very angry. The ghosts were coming. The fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. Admiral looked at his screens with satisfaction. Soon, he would claim this dead world for his empire. "Send scout ships ahead," ordered. "I want to know if there are any valuable resources before we commit the main fleet." 3 small ships moved forward toward the blue and green planet. Their sensors swept across space, looking for threats. They found nothing, just empty space and a dead world. But they were wrong. Hidden in the shadow of Earth's moon, a massive human defense platform came to life. Its weapons had been dormant for 300 years, waiting. Now they woke up. The platform's cannons fired. 3 beams of white-hot energy crossed the distance to the scout ships in seconds. The ships exploded instantly. There was no warning, no chance to escape. On the Iron Fist, alarms began to scream. "What happened?" jumped from his chair. "Where are my scouts?" "They are gone, Admiral," a crew member shouted. "Something destroyed them." "Show me." The main screen displayed the wreckage of the 3 ships. Beyond them saw something that made his blood run cold. Orbital platforms, dozens of them, all around the planet, all powering up their weapons. "That is impossible," whispered. "Earth is dead. There should be nothing here." Another officer spoke urgently. "Admiral, I am detecting cities on the planet's surface, millions of life signs and ships, hundreds of ships coming up from the planet." Watched in horror as human vessels rose from Earth like angry insects from a hive. They were small compared to his warships, but there were so many of them, and they moved with purpose. "This is a trap," said. "The humans are alive. They have been alive this whole time." He made a quick decision. "All ships retreat, get us out of here now." But before the fleet could turn around, the human fleet appeared behind them. 43 warships dropped out of stealth mode, surrounding the completely. Captain stood on the bridge of the Silent Echo, which was now part of the battle line. "Fire at will," he ordered calmly. The space around Earth erupted in fire and light. Human ships attacked from all sides. Their weapons were new, powerful, and precise. Shields started failing within seconds. Pilot led her fighter squadron through the chaos. Her voice came through the communication system, excited and fierce. "Phantom Wing, follow me, target their engines." 200 human fighters swarmed the ships like wolves attacking bears. They were too small and too fast for the big guns to hit, but their weapons could pierce armor easily. Admiral tried to fight back. "Return fire, destroy those fighters." But his ships were not prepared for this kind of battle. They had always been the predators. They had never been prey before. Their crews panicked. Some ships tried to run. Others tried to fight. None of it worked. Commander Wu coordinated the human attack with cold efficiency. "Battle Group 3, target the flagship. Battle Group 5, cut off their escape route. All fighters keep pressing the attack." Doctor monitored communications from her station. She heard their fear, their confusion, their desperate calls for help. "Captain, they are trying to send distress signals." "Jam everything," ordered. "No signals leave this system." The battle lasted only 20 minutes. One by one, the ships were destroyed. Some tried to surrender, but there were no mercy calls given. Admiral Sora had been clear. No survivors, no evidence. Well, almost no survivors. Watched as the last ship, damaged but still functional, turned and jumped into faster-than-light travel. It escaped before the human ships could stop it. "One got away," Wu said. "Should we pursue?" Shook his head. "No, let it go." Wu looked confused. "But they will tell everyone. The galaxy will know humans are alive." "That is exactly what Admiral Sora wants," replied quietly. "We are done hiding, Commander. Let them tell the galaxy. Let everyone know." On the Iron Fist's bridge, Admiral was dead. The flagship had been hit directly by one of Engineer Jin's new weapons. A small asteroid accelerated to 90% light speed had torn through the ship like paper. Half the crew was gone. The ship was dying. But one escape pod launched successfully. Inside, a junior officer named floated in the darkness, breathing hard. He had survived, barely. His pod's computer recorded everything that had happened. The human ships, the orbital platforms, the cities on Earth, all the evidence was there. Set a course for the nearest outpost and activated the emergency beacon. Someone would find him. Someone would hear his story. And then the galaxy would know the truth. 3 days later, in the Great Council Chamber of the Galactic Council, chaos reigned. Representatives from hundreds of species shouted at each other. The humans were alive. The humans had destroyed a fleet. The humans had hidden for 300 years, and now they were back. The representative, a tall female named, demanded action. The humans attacked us without warning. They murdered 20 ships full of innocent explorers. This is an act of war." A representative laughed. "Innocent? The do not know the meaning of that word. I celebrate this news. Finally, someone has put you bullies in your place." "How dare you?" screamed. "We are a founding member of this council." The council leader, an ancient named Elder, raised his hand for silence. His species was known for wisdom and patience. "Enough! We must learn more before we make decisions. The humans were thought extinct. If they survived, we must know how and why." "We should send ambassadors," suggested a representative. "We should talk to these humans before jumping to war." Slammed her fist on the table. "Talk! They destroyed our ships. We will not talk. We will destroy them as we should have done 300 years ago." The council chamber erupted in arguments again. Some species supported many did not. They had made many enemies over the centuries. Their cruelty and greed had turned most of the galaxy against them. Elder watched everything with tired eyes. He had been on the council for 200 years. He remembered when humans first reached the stars. They had seemed kind, curious, and eager to learn, but they had attacked them. The council had done nothing to stop it. Now it seemed the humans had returned, and they were not the same peaceful explorers anymore. "This council is adjourned," Elder announced. "We will meet again tomorrow. Until then, no one will attack the humans. No one will approach their territory. Is that clear?" Stood angrily. "The Empire does not take orders from this council. We will defend ourselves." "Then you will stand alone," Elder replied coldly. "The council will not support a war that you started." Left the chamber in rage. She immediately sent a message to her home world. They would prepare for war. They would gather every ship, every soldier, every weapon, and they would crush humanity once and for all. But first they needed to know more. Where were the human colonies? How many ships did they have? What were their weapons like? Ordered spies to infiltrate neutral stations. She ordered scouts to search for human bases. She ordered scientists to study the wreckage from the battle at Earth. What she did not know was that the human spy was watching everything. Every plan, every military order, every secret discussion was being reported back to Admiral Sora. Humanity knew war was coming. They had always known, but now they were ready. On New Haven, Admiral Sora called a meeting with all her top commanders. Captain, Pilot, Commander Wu, Engineer Jin, Doctor, and many others gathered around a large table. "The galaxy knows we exist now," Sora said. "Some will fear us, some will hate us, but some will want to be our friends. We must be ready for all of it." "What about asked. "They will come with everything they have." Sora nodded. "Yes. Intelligence reports say they are gathering a fleet of over 500 warships. They plan to attack New Haven and every other human colony they can find." The room went quiet. 500 warships, that was an enormous force. "Can we win against that many?" asked. Jin smiled. "I have been working on something big." He activated a holographic display showing a massive ship design. It was 3 times larger than any human ship currently in service. Its hull was covered in weapons. "I call it the Dreadnought," Jin said proudly. "It can destroy 10 warships by itself, and I can build 5 of them in 3 months." Sora looked at the design carefully. "Can you really build these?" "Yes, Admiral, the shipyards are ready. We have the materials. We just need your approval." Sora did not hesitate. "Build them. Build as many as you can. We also need more fighters, more missiles, more everything." She turned to face everyone. "They think they can destroy us because they have numbers, but we have something they do not have. We have anger. We have 300 years of rage waiting to be released. And most importantly, we have each other." The commanders nodded. They knew what was coming. The biggest war the galaxy had seen in centuries. Humans versus David versus Goliath. But this time, David had guns. Prepare the fleet, Sora ordered. Send messages to all colonies. Tell everyone to get ready. The storm is coming, and we will meet it with thunder. As the meeting ended, stayed behind. Admiral, there is something else. The council sent a message. They want to talk. They want us to send ambassadors. Sora raised an eyebrow. After 300 years of ignoring us, now they want to talk. Yes, Elder himself sent the message. He seems genuine. Sora thought for a moment. Then we will go, we will talk, but we will also prepare for war. If the council cannot stop we will do it ourselves. She looked at, pack your dress uniform, Captain. You and Doctor are going to meet the Galactic Council. Show them that humanity is not a myth. Show them we are real, we are strong, and we are not afraid anymore. Saluted, yes, Admiral. The galaxy was about to change forever. The human ship emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of Council space. It was massive, larger than any warship the Council had ever seen. Its black hull reflected no light. Its weapons were clearly visible, pointing in all directions. Inside the Council station, alarms went off immediately. Unidentified ship detected, a controller shouted. It is not responding to our hails. Elder rushed to the observation window. He saw the human vessel and felt his breath catch. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. A ship built not just for war, but to win wars. Send them a message, ordered calmly. Tell them they are welcome. Tell them we mean no harm. The message was sent. For several long minutes there was no response. Then finally, a voice came through the speakers. This is Captain of the human vessel Defiance. We are here to speak with the Galactic Council. We come in peace, but we are prepared to defend ourselves if necessary. Smiled slightly. Direct and honest, he liked that. Captain, this is Elder. You have safe passage. Please dock at Bay 12. We are eager to meet you. The Defiance moved slowly toward the station. Every species in Council space watched through sensors and cameras. This was history happening. The return of humanity. In the docking bay, hundreds of representatives waited. Some were curious. Some were afraid. Many were angry. They stood in the back, their faces dark with rage. The airlock opened with a hiss of air. Captain stepped out first, wearing a simple military uniform with no medals or decoration. He was tall and calm, his eyes scanning the crowd carefully. Doctor followed, carrying a data tablet. Behind them came 20 human soldiers. They wore black armor and carried powerful rifles. They did not point their weapons at anyone, but the message was clear. Humanity was not asking for permission to exist. They were stating a fact. Elder stepped forward. Captain, Doctor, welcome to the Galactic Council. It has been a long time since humans walked among us. Bowed slightly. 300 years, Elder. We apologize for our absence, but we had good reasons to stay hidden. I am sure you did, replied. Come, the council chamber is prepared. There are many questions to answer. As they walked through the station corridors, other species stared. Some whispered. Some took pictures. Doctor recorded everything in her tablet. This was valuable intelligence. The council chamber was a huge circular room with seats arranged in tiers. Representatives from 200 species sat watching as and entered. The humans walked to the center platform, standing under the bright lights. The representative stood immediately. Why are you here? You murdered our people. You should be arrested, not welcomed. Looked at her calmly. We defended our home. Your fleet came to strip mine Earth without permission. They came to take what was ours. We simply stopped them. Earth was declared abandoned, shouted. It belonged to no one. It belonged to us, replied, his voice becoming harder. It has always belonged to us. Just because we were not visible does not mean we were not there. Elder raised his hand. Please, let us discuss this calmly. Captain, can you explain how humanity survived? We all believed you were destroyed in nuclear war. Stepped forward. We almost were destroyed, Elder. Our civilization nearly ended in fire and violence, but a small number of us survived. We went underground. We hid our cities. We made Earth look dead from space." "Why?" asked a representative. "Why hide?" His expression became sad. "Because the first time we reached the stars and asked to join the council, we were attacked. They destroyed 3 of our colonies without warning. They killed thousands of civilians. When we asked the council for help, we were ignored." The chamber erupted in noise. Many representatives looked at them with disgust. Everyone knew they were aggressive, but attacking a new species without cause was extreme even for them. His face turned darker blue with anger. "That is a lie. We only defended our territory." "From what?" asked coldly. "From explorers, from scientists, from children." He activated a holographic display. Images appeared showing the destroyed human colonies, bodies floating in space, burning buildings, dead families. "These were not soldiers," continued. "These were farmers, teachers, doctors, and you killed them all because you saw us as weak." The council chamber went very quiet. The images were horrible. Even species who disliked humans felt sympathy. Elder closed his eyes. "I remember this. I was young then, but I remember. The council chose not to intervene. We thought humans would simply leave and never return. We were wrong." "Yes, you were," agreed. "Instead, we hid, we watched, we learned, and we prepared. For 300 years we built new weapons, new ships, new technology, all while you thought we were extinct." A representative spoke up. "If you have such power now, why reveal yourselves? Why not stay hidden?" Answered, "Because they are expanding again. They plan to enslave 12 more species in the next 10 years. They plan to mine resources from dozens of systems. If we stay hidden, we are choosing to let innocents die. We cannot do that." This created more noise in the chamber. Several smaller species looked at each other nervously. They knew they might be the ones enslaved next. Stood again. "The council will not listen to these lies. The empire has every right to expand. We are a founding member." "Founded on blood and slavery," said quietly. "We have evidence, representative, 300 years of evidence. Doctor, please show them." Activated her tablet. New images appeared. Slave camps, species being experimented on, planets stripped bare of all life, communications showing commanders laughing about genocide. "We have been watching you," said. "Every crime, every atrocity, every murder, we recorded all of it." The council chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives shouted at the shouted back. Security guards moved forward to keep order. Elder's voice boomed, "Silence." Everyone stopped, looked ancient and angry. "Is this true, representative? Did your empire commit these acts?" Hesitated. "The empire does what is necessary to survive. Lesser species are meant to serve greater ones. This is the natural order." "Natural order," repeated. His voice was ice. "You destroyed our colonies, you killed our people. You thought you could erase us from existence, but we survived. And now we stand here to tell you something very important." He stepped forward, his eyes meeting. "If you come for us again, we will end you. Not just your fleet, not just your colonies, your entire empire. We will erase them from the galaxy so completely that in 300 years you will be the legend that no one believes in." The threat hung in the air like poison. Every representative felt the weight of it. This was not an empty promise. The humans meant every word. Laughed nervously. "You think you can destroy us? We have 500 warships. You have what, 50, 100? We will crush you." Smiled. It was not a friendly smile. "Engineer Jin, would you like to respond to that?" A holographic image appeared of Jin, broadcasting from New Haven. "Representative, allow me to introduce you to our ships. These are dreadnoughts. Each one can destroy 10 of your warships. We currently have 5 completed with 15 more under construction." The hologram showed the massive ships. They were enormous, bristling with weapons that no one in the council had ever seen before. Jin continued, "We also have 400 fighters equipped with quantum jump engines. They can appear inside your formations without warning, and we have weapons that you cannot defend against. Asteroids accelerated to near light speed, invisible missiles, energy beams that ignore shields. Should I continue?" Sat down heavily, her confidence was gone. Elder spoke carefully. "Captain, humanity clearly has the power to wage war, but war will cost millions of lives on all sides. Is there no other way?" Turn to him. "We do not want war, Elder. We never did. All we want is to live in peace and protect those who cannot protect themselves. If they agree to disarm, free their slaves, and face justice for their crimes, we will not attack." "Never," screamed. "The Empire will never surrender to lesser species." "Then you will fall," said simply. "The choice is yours." He turned back to Elder. "We also have a request. We want humanity to be recognized as a member of the Galactic Council. We want a voice in decisions that affect the galaxy. We have earned that right." Nodded slowly. "The Council will vote on this, but Captain, you must understand. Many species are afraid of you now. You have shown great power, power that could be used for good or evil." "We understand," said. "That is why we are here. We want to prove that we choose good. We want to help. But we will also defend ourselves and our friends. Always." A small representative from a species called the stood up. She was tiny, barely a meter tall. Her people had been oppressed by the for decades. "I support the humans," she said in a quiet voice. "They did what none of us dared to do. They stood up to they showed us that bullies can be stopped. I vote yes for human membership in the council." One by one, other small species stood and agreed. Then larger species joined. Many of soon, more than half the council was standing in support of humanity. Elder looked surprised but pleased. "It seems you have more friends than you knew, Captain. Welcome to the Galactic Council. Welcome home." Bowed deeply. "Thank you, Elder. We promise to be worthy of this trust." Stood angrily. "This is not over. The Empire will respond to this insult. We will." "You will do nothing," interrupted. "If the Empire attacks humanity, you will stand alone. No one will help you. No one will supply you. You will face the consequences of your own cruelty." Looked around the chamber and saw only hostile faces. Even her allies had abandoned her. She realized the truth. The Empire had pushed too far for too long. Now, finally, there were consequences. "This council is a joke," said bitterly. She turned and walked out, her delegation following. After she left, spoke to the council. "I will not lie to you, they will attack. They are too proud and too angry to accept this peacefully. A war is coming, a big war. We are ready for it, but we ask for your support. Not military support, just moral support. Stand with us. Show the galaxy that tyranny has no place among civilized species." The representatives agreed. Messages of support came from all directions. Humanity had allies now, real allies. As and left the council chamber, walked with them. "Captain, be careful. They are dangerous when cornered. They will do whatever it takes to win." "So will we," replied. "The difference is we are fighting for survival. They are fighting for pride, and pride always loses to survival." The human delegation returned to the Defiance. As the ship left the station, looked at, "We did it. We told them who we are." Nodded. "Now comes the hard part, proving it." The Defiance jumped into faster-than-light travel, heading home. Behind them, the galaxy prepared for war. The legendary humans had returned, and they were ready to fight. The war fleet gathered at the edge of their empire. 500 massive warships filled the space around their staging planet. Admiral's successor, Admiral, stood on the bridge of the new flagship Thunder of Vengeance. He was older than, more experienced, and much more ruthless. "How long until all ships are ready?" asked his second in command. 2 more days, Admiral. We are bringing in every available vessel." This will be the largest fleet the Empire has ever assembled. Smiled coldly. Good. The humans think they are clever. They think they can threaten us. We will show them what happens when you challenge the Empire. But did not know that human eyes watched his every move. Spy satellites, hidden sensors, agents on planets. Humanity had learned to be patient and thorough. On New Haven, Admiral Sora studied the intelligence reports. 500 ships, that is everything they have. They are committing their entire military to this attack. Captain stood beside her. He had returned from the council meeting just hours ago. Then we have an advantage. They are putting all their resources in one place. Exactly, Sora agreed. If we destroy this fleet, they will have nothing left. Their empire will collapse. Commander Wu entered the command center carrying new tactical data. Admiral, Engineer Jin's dreadnoughts are ready, all 20 of them. He worked faster than expected. Sora raised her eyebrows. 20, he said 15. He did not sleep for 3 weeks, Wu explained. His entire team worked around the clock. They know what is at stake. Sora nodded with respect. Good, what else do we have? Wu displayed a holographic map showing the human fleet. 200 warships, counting the dreadnoughts, 800 fighters, 50 support vessels with supplies and medical equipment, and Jin's special weapons. The asteroid launchers asked. Yes, Captain. Jin has prepared 30 asteroids. Each one is the size of a house and will be accelerated to 90% light speed. They will not be able to defend against them. Sora looked at the numbers carefully. The humans were outnumbered more than 2 to 1, but they had better weapons, better training, and most importantly, better motivation. They were fighting for pride. Humans were fighting for survival. Where will they attack? Sora asked. Who had been analyzing communications answered. They plan to strike at New Haven first. They think this is our main base. If they destroy it, they believe we will surrender. They are correct that this is important, Sora said, but they do not know about our other colonies. Even if they destroy New Haven, humanity will survive. We cannot let them destroy our home, said firmly. We will not, Sora promised, but we will not fight them here either. We will meet them in space far from our colonies. We will choose the battlefield. She turned to Wu. Send orders to the fleet. All ships are to gather at the Talon Nebula. That is where we will make our stand. The Talon Nebula was a massive cloud of gas and dust between space and human territory. It was perfect for an ambush. Sensors did not work well in the nebula. Ships could hide in the clouds, and there were thousands of asteroids floating in the area. Over the next 2 days, the human fleet gathered. Ships came from every hidden colony. Pilots said goodbye to their families. Soldiers prepared their weapons. Everyone knew this would be the battle that decided everything. Pilot stood in the fighter bay looking at her ship. It was painted black with silver stars. She had named it Ghost Dancer because it moved through space like a phantom. Nervous? Asked another pilot, a young man named. No, lied, just ready. Smiled, me too. My grandfather died in the first war against the, this is for him. Nodded, everyone had lost someone to the, this was personal for all of them. In the command ship Defiance, Admiral Sora gathered all the captains for a final briefing. Wu, Jin, and dozens of others stood around the holographic display. The fleet will arrive in 6 hours, Sora announced. They will come expecting an easy fight. We will show them they are wrong. This is our plan. She manipulated the hologram, showing the nebula and positioning markers. The dreadnoughts will hide in the densest part of the cloud. The regular warships will be in 3 groups surrounding them. The fighters will stay mobile, ready to strike from any direction. What about Jin's asteroids? Asked. Jin stepped forward, looking tired but excited. The launchers are positioned around the nebula. When I give the signal, they will fire all 30 asteroids at once. The asteroids will cross the battlefield in less than 3 seconds. Anything in their path will be destroyed. 3 seconds, Wu repeated. That is not much time to aim. I have calculated the formation patterns, Jin explained. They always arrange their ships in a sphere formation for maximum defensive coverage. When the asteroids hit, they will tear through multiple ships at once. Sora nodded. Good. After the asteroids hit, all ships will attack immediately. Hit them hard and fast. Do not give them time to recover. This battle must be decisive. She looked at each captain in turn. I will not lie to you. Some of us will die today, but we fight for something bigger than ourselves. We fight for humanity's right to exist. We fight so our children never have to hide again. We fight because 300 years ago we were attacked and nearly destroyed. Today we strike back. The captain saluted. For humanity. For humanity, Sora replied. 6 hours later the fleet arrived. Admiral looked at his sensors and smiled. The nebula was ahead. Intelligence suggested the humans were hiding somewhere inside. Send scout ships into the cloud, ordered. Find them. 20 small vessels entered the nebula. Their sensors swept through the gas and dust, searching for human ships. They found nothing. Sir, the scouts report no contacts, an officer said. Frowned, they must be here. Send the entire fleet in. Standard sphere formation. The 500 warships entered the nebula together, arranging themselves in their traditional defensive pattern. It was a formation that had won them many battles, a formation that made them feel invincible. It was also a formation that grouped them perfectly for Jin's weapons. Hidden in the gas clouds, Sora watched the fleet move into position. Wait, she whispered. Wait for it. They need to be deeper. They moved further into the nebula. They were completely surrounded by clouds now. Their sensors showed nothing but interference. Now, Sora said calmly. Jin pressed a button. Around the nebula, 30 asteroid launchers fired. The massive rocks were accelerated by powerful magnetic fields until they reached incredible speeds. They crossed the distance to the fleet in 3 seconds. The asteroids tore through the formation like bullets through paper. Each one destroyed multiple ships. Explosions rippled through space as hulls were torn apart and engines detonated. In less than 5 seconds, 100 ships were destroyed. Admiral's ship shook violently as an asteroid passed close enough to create a shockwave. What was that? Report. We are under attack. Multiple impacts. We have lost. The officer's voice cut off as another ship exploded nearby. Before could respond, the human fleet appeared from the gas clouds. 200 warships opened fire at once. The dreadnoughts fired their massive cannons, each shot destroying a vessel. The regular warships attacked in coordinated strikes, overwhelming shields. Then the fighters came. Lead Phantom winged through the chaos like a dancer through fire. All wings target their command ships, aim for the bridges. 800 human fighters swarmed the fleet. They moved so fast and changed directions so quickly that gunners could not track them, but the fighters could track them perfectly. This is Ghost Dancer splash one enemy ship, called out. Fire Wing confirming 2 kills, another pilot reported. Storm Squadron reporting 4 destroyers down. The reports kept coming. They tried to fight back, but they were disorganized and panicking. Their perfect formation had been shattered by the asteroids. Now they were surrounded by an enemy they could not see clearly. Admiral realized they were losing, badly. All ships retreat, get us out of this nebula. But escape was not easy. The human ships blocked the exits. Any vessel that tried to run was immediately targeted by multiple human ships. Commander Jinna's ground forces watched from a support vessel, waiting. She commanded the Steel Shadows, elite human soldiers, but this battle was in space. Her fight would come later. On the Defiance, watched the battle unfold on tactical displays. Admiral, their fleet is breaking apart. They are trying to scatter. Let them scatter, Sora replied. Wu, send pursuit orders. I want every ship accounted for. The battle lasted 3 hours. It was brutal and one-sided. The fought bravely, but bravery was not enough against superior tactics and weapons. When it ended, 400 ships were destroyed. 50 more were damaged and drifting. Only 50 escaped. The cost to humanity was much lower. 30 ships were destroyed. 200 fighters were lost. 3,000 humans had died. Each death hurt, but the victory was complete. Admiral's ship was one of those drifting. His engines were dead, his weapons gone. He sat in his ruined command chair, covered in dust and blood. Around him, his crew lay dead or dying. A human boarding team entered his bridge. They were led by Commander Jinnah, wearing black armor and carrying advanced weapons. Admiral, Jinnah said, you are under arrest for war crimes against humanity and dozens of other species. You will stand trial before the Galactic Council. Laughed bitterly. You think this is over, the Empire will rebuild, we will. Your empire is finished, Jinnah interrupted. This was your entire military fleet. You have no more ships, no more weapons, no more power, it is over. Said nothing, he knew she was right. The human fleet regrouped after the battle. Ships were repaired. Dead were honored, but there was no celebration. They had won, but the cost had been high. Stood on the observation deck of the Defiance, looking at the debris field. So much destruction, so much death, but it had been necessary. Joined him. Captain, we are receiving messages from across the galaxy. Hundreds of species are celebrating our victory. The Empire is collapsing. Their slave colonies are freeing themselves. Good, said quietly. That is what we wanted. Admiral Sora is preparing to broadcast a message to the galaxy, continued. She wants you to stand with her. They walked to the communications center where Sora waited. Behind her, a camera was ready. This message would be sent to every species in the galaxy. Ready? Sora asked. Nodded, ready. The camera activated. Sora spoke clearly and firmly. People of the galaxy, I am Admiral Sora of the human fleet. Today we fought and defeated the Empire. This was not a war of conquest. This was justice. For 300 years they terrorized the galaxy. They enslaved peaceful species. They destroyed anyone who opposed them. Today that ended. She paused, letting her words sink in. We were believed to be a legend, a myth. A cautionary tale about a violent species that destroyed itself, but we survived. We endured, we prepared, and today we struck back, not for revenge but for justice, not to conquer but to protect. Stepped forward. Humanity asks only for what we have always wanted, the right to exist, the right to live in peace, the right to protect ourselves and our friends. We do not seek to rule the galaxy, we seek only to be part of it. Sora continued, to all species who suffer under tyranny, know this. You are not alone. Humanity will stand with you. We will help you. We will protect you. Because we remember what it feels like to be helpless. We remember what it feels like to be forgotten. Never again will we allow the strong to prey on the weak. She looked directly into the camera. This is our promise to the galaxy. Humanity is back, and we will never hide again. The transmission ended. The message spread across the galaxy in hours. Some species celebrated, some feared, but all of them knew one thing. The galaxy had changed forever. Weeks later, the Galactic Council met again. This time, Captain and Doctor sat as full members. They had earned their place through battle and sacrifice. Elder opened the session. The Empire has surrendered. Their leaders will face trial. Their slave colonies are being liberated. A new era begins. He looked at the human delegation. Captain, your people fought well, but I must ask, what will humanity do now? You have great power. How will you use it? Stood, we will use it to help, to protect, to build instead of destroy. We learned hard lessons in our history. We nearly destroyed ourselves once. We will not make that mistake again. A representative stood. She was the same small woman who had supported humanity before. My people would like to request a formal alliance with humanity. Will you help us rebuild what the took? Yes, replied without hesitation. We will help. Other species asked for help too, medical assistance, technology sharing, protection from remaining loyalists. Humanity said yes to all of it. That night stood on the observation deck of New Haven, looking at the stars. Joined him, still wearing her pilot suit. We did it, Captain, she said softly. We really did it. Yes, agreed. But this is just the beginning. Now comes the hard part. Building peace is harder than winning war. I know, smiled. But if we could survive 300 years of hiding, we can handle anything. Laughed, you are right. Humanity has always been good at adapting. They stood together watching the stars. Somewhere out there, human children were growing up without fear. Human colonies were expanding. Human ships explored new worlds. The age of hiding was over. Humanity had been believed to be a legend, a myth, a story told to children, but legends never truly die. They wait in the darkness, gathering strength, and when the time is right, they return. The galaxy had forgotten humanity once. It would never make that mistake again. The humans had struck back, and in doing so, they had changed the universe forever.